Have you ever walked through an IKEA store, picked up a modern coffee table, looked at the price, and wondered, how can this be so cheap? Because let's be honest, furniture isn't supposed to be cheap. Wood is expensive. Transportation is expensive. Warehouses cost millions. Employees need salaries, rent, electricity, marketing. Every single step costs money. Yet somehow, IKEA continues to sell furniture at prices that leave competitors struggling to keep up. In fact, millions of people believe IKEA is simply selling lower quality products. But what if I told you? That's only a small part of the story. Behind every bookshelf, every dining table, every sofa, there is a business strategy so intelligent that universities around the world study it. This isn't just the story of a furniture company. It's the story of one of the smartest business models ever created. And by the end of this video, you'll understand why IKEA became a global empire without selling luxury furniture. Let's begin. Every great company begins with an idea. But IKEA didn't begin in a giant factory. It didn't start inside a luxurious office. And it certainly wasn't created by a billionaire. Instead, it all started in a small village in southern Sweden. The year was 1943. Europe was in the middle of World War II. Many countries were struggling with shortages. Jobs were disappearing. Families were trying to survive. Yet, in the middle of all this uncertainty, a 17-year-old boy was quietly building something that would one day change the furniture industry forever. His name was Ingvar Kamprad. Ingvar grew up on a small farm called Entrepreneurship, near the tiny village of Agunnaryd. From a very young age, he showed something unusual. He wasn't just curious. He was obsessed with business. At the age of 5, he bought boxes of matches in bulk, then sold them individually to his neighbors for a small profit. It wasn't about becoming rich. It was about understanding one simple idea. Buy smart, sell smarter. As he got older, he expanded his little business. Pens, Christmas cards, fish, seeds, even small household items. If people needed it, Ingvar believed he could sell it. By the time he turned 17, his father rewarded his hard work with a small amount of money. Most teenagers would have spent it. Ingvar did something different. He invested it. In 1943, he officially registered a company that would later become one of the most famous brands in the world. The name, IKEA. But here's something many people don't know. IKEA isn't a random word. It's actually made from 4 initials. I for Ingvar, K for Kamprad, E for Elmtrid, the family farm, and A for Agunnaryd, the village where he grew up. At first, IKEA didn't sell furniture. It was simply a mail-order business. Customers ordered products from a printed catalog, and the items were delivered to their homes. This was decades before online shopping. Yet the basic idea was surprisingly similar. Offer good products, keep prices low, and make buying as simple as possible. A few years later, Ingvar noticed something interesting. Furniture in Sweden was incredibly expensive. Beautiful designs were available, but only wealthy families could afford them. Ordinary people had very few choices. And that's when one question changed everything. What if great furniture didn't have to be expensive? That single question became the foundation of IKEA. Ingvar believed that good design should belong to everyone, not just the rich. But turning that dream into reality would be far more difficult than he imagined, because the traditional furniture industry was about to fight back, and the biggest challenge was still waiting for him. By the early 1950s, IKEA was growing faster than anyone expected. More and more people were choosing affordable furniture instead of expensive designer brands. But success brought a new problem: shipping. Every table, every chair, every cabinet was already fully assembled before leaving the factory. That meant one truck could carry only a limited number of products. Large furniture occupied too much space. Transportation costs kept rising. Warehouses filled up quickly, and every extra truck meant higher prices for customers. Ingvar Kamprad knew something had to change, but the solution didn't come from a board meeting. It came from a simple accident. One day, an IKEA employee was preparing a wooden table for delivery. The table wouldn't fit into the delivery vehicle. Instead of forcing it inside, he removed the legs. Suddenly, the table became flat. It occupied only a fraction of its original space. That small decision changed everything. Ingvar immediately realized the potential. What if every piece of furniture was designed to be packed flat? Instead of transporting air, IKEA could transport products more efficiently. More furniture could fit inside every truck. More trucks could be eliminated. Storage costs would fall. Shipping costs would fall. Damage during transport would also decrease. But there was one more advantage. Customers could assemble the furniture themselves. Instead of paying factory workers to build every product, IKEA handed that final step to the customer. Some people saw it as extra work. IKEA saw it as innovation. In return, customers received beautifully designed furniture at prices competitors couldn't match. The flat pack system also transformed global shipping. A shipping container that once carried 50 assembled tables could now carry hundreds of flat-packed ones. Every centimeter of space mattered. Every saved dollar allowed IKEA to reduce prices even further. Competitors laughed at first. They believed customers would never accept assembling furniture at home. But they were wrong. Families embraced the idea. Building furniture became part of the experience. It even created something psychologists later called the IKEA effect. When people build something themselves, they value it more, even if it takes time, even if it's frustrating. Without realizing it, customers became emotionally connected to their furniture. That simple accident, removing 4 table legs, didn't just reduce shipping costs. It created one of the greatest business innovations in retail history. And it was only the beginning, because IKEA's biggest secret was still hidden inside its business strategy. By now, it might seem like IKEA became successful simply because of flat-pack furniture. But here's the truth. Flat-packs were only one piece of the puzzle. The real secret was a business system so efficient that every single step was designed to remove unnecessary costs. While other furniture companies asked, "How can we charge more?" IKEA asked a completely different question. How can we spend less? That single mindset changed everything. Every product begins with the price. Most companies design a product first, then calculate how much it should cost. IKEA does the exact opposite. First, they decide the final price customers should pay. Then, their designers and engineers work backwards. Every material, every screw, every piece of wood, every centimeter is carefully redesigned until the product can be sold at that target price, without sacrificing functionality. This process is called democratic design, a balance between good design, low price, quality, sustainability, and practicality. But that isn't all. IKEA also buys raw materials in enormous quantities. Imagine buying one chair. It costs a certain amount. Now imagine buying 10 million chairs. Suddenly, suppliers offer huge discounts. That's exactly what IKEA does. Because they manufacture products for stores around the world, they negotiate prices that smaller companies could never achieve. But perhaps the biggest advantage is their global supply chain. IKEA works with hundreds of manufacturing partners across many countries. Each factory specializes in producing specific products, using local materials and efficient production methods. Instead of building everything in one place, IKEA builds products wherever it makes the most economic sense. This reduces production costs, transportation expenses, and unnecessary waste. Then comes another clever trick. Product standardization. Have you ever noticed that many IKEA shelves, cabinets, and storage units use similar parts? That's not an accident. By using the same screws, hinges, connectors, and manufacturing processes, IKEA reduces complexity. Fewer unique parts mean faster production. Faster production means lower costs. Lower costs mean lower prices for customers. Even the instruction manuals save money. Instead of printing manuals in dozens of languages, IKEA uses simple illustrations. Almost anyone, anywhere in the world, can understand them. No translation, no extra printing costs. One design for every market. Every tiny decision saves a few cents. And when millions of products are sold every year, those few cents become hundreds of millions of dollars. That's the genius of IKEA. Customers don't notice these hidden savings. They only notice one thing, the lower price tag. But IKEA isn't finished yet. Because the moment you walk into one of their stores, the company begins influencing every decision you make. And that's where psychology enters the story. You walk into IKEA, planning to buy just one thing. Maybe a desk, maybe a lamp, maybe a bookshelf. But somehow, 2 hours later, you're standing at the checkout with candles, plants, kitchen tools, pillows, storage boxes, and a shopping cart full of items you never planned to buy. Sound familiar? That's not an accident. It's psychology. Every IKEA store is carefully designed to influence how you think, how you move, and ultimately, how much you spend. The moment you enter, you begin following a long, winding path. It almost feels like a maze. But here's the interesting part. The maze isn't there to confuse you. It's there to expose you to as many products as possible. The longer you stay inside, the more likely you are to buy something you never intended to purchase. This is known as the Gruen effect. Retail experts have used this principle for decades. When shoppers become immersed in an environment, they lose track of time and become more open to impulse buying. IKEA has mastered this better than almost anyone. But that's only the beginning. Instead of placing furniture on plain shelves, IKEA builds complete homes, living rooms, bedrooms, kitchens, dining spaces. Everything looks warm, comfortable, and realistic. Customers don't just see a sofa. They imagine it inside their own home. Psychologists call this mental ownership. Once your brain imagines owning something, you're much more likely to buy it. Then come the small accessories. Picture frames, blankets, lamps, artificial plants, storage baskets. None of these products are placed randomly. They're positioned beside larger furniture to encourage additional purchases. One item becomes 5. 5 become 10. Before you realize it, your basket is full. And then, just when you're getting tired, something unexpected appears. The IKEA restaurant, famous for one simple meal, Swedish meatballs. At first, selling food inside a furniture store sounds strange. But once again, it's brilliant. Hungry customers leave stores faster. Well-fed customers stay longer. And the longer they stay, the more money they spend. Even the smell of freshly prepared food creates a more positive shopping experience. Finally, before reaching the checkout, you're forced to pass through one last section. Small products, cheap products, easy-to-grab products, batteries, candles, chocolate, kitchen utensils, storage containers. Each item costs very little, so buying one more doesn't feel like a big decision. But multiplied by millions of customers every year, these tiny purchases generate enormous profits. Every corner, every sign, every light, every room has one purpose: to make shopping feel natural, while quietly increasing the value of every visit. IKEA isn't just selling furniture. It's selling an experience. And that's one of the biggest reasons why customers keep coming back. But after everything we've discovered, one final question remains. What is the biggest lesson every business can learn from IKEA? So, after everything we've uncovered, one question still remains. What is IKEA's biggest secret? Is it the flat-pack furniture? The low prices? The massive warehouses? The famous Swedish meatballs? Or the carefully designed store layout? The answer is none of them, because none of these ideas would have worked on their own. IKEA became one of the world's most successful companies because every single part of the business works together. Every product, every warehouse, every truck, every supplier, every designer, every employee, every store, and every customer is connected. While most companies focus on making bigger profits, IKEA focuses on removing unnecessary costs. That's the difference. Instead of asking, how can we charge customers more? IKEA asks, how can we make life better for millions of people? That philosophy changed the furniture industry forever. Today, IKEA operates hundreds of stores across the world. Millions of customers walk through its doors every week. Thousands of new homes are furnished with IKEA products every single day. But perhaps the company's greatest achievement isn't selling furniture. It's changing the way people think about furniture. Before IKEA, stylish furniture was often considered a luxury, something only wealthy families could afford. Today, good design has become accessible to millions. That's not just smart business. That's innovation. And maybe that's the biggest lesson every entrepreneur should remember. Success isn't always about creating something completely new. Sometimes, success comes from improving something ordinary, better than anyone else. IKEA didn't invent chairs. It didn't invent tables. It didn't invent bookshelves. It reinvented the way they were designed, manufactured, transported, sold, and experienced. Every small improvement created another advantage. Every advantage made the business stronger. And over time, those tiny improvements built a global empire. So, the next time you walk into an IKEA store, don't just look at the furniture. Look at the system behind it. The warehouse, the flat pack boxes, the simple instruction manuals, the carefully planned showroom, the restaurant, the checkout. Every detail exists for a reason. And together, they tell one incredible story. The story of how one small company from Sweden changed an entire industry forever. If you enjoyed discovering the hidden business secrets behind IKEA, make sure to subscribe, because in the next documentary, we'll uncover another billion-dollar business mystery and reveal the strategies that most people never notice. Until then, thanks for watching. And remember, behind every successful company, there's always a story the world rarely sees. Before you go, take just 1 second to subscribe. It helps us create more research-backed videos exposing hidden ingredients and recommending safer alternatives. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and share it with someone who deserves to know this information. Thanks for watching, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video.